Hey everybody, I just want to show you all a new recipe that Leanne and me like. It's called coconut oysters. Of course, everybody's heard of coconut shrimp, and this is a little take on it. We're doing some shrimp tonight, and also we shot about 10 oysters earlier. And what I wanted to share with y'all is the mixture that we do. It's about 1/3 coconut, 1/3 panko breadcrumbs, and 1/3 cornmeal. Also got a little bit egg wash or egg. We got 2 eggs, and you put a little bit of water in it. We found out the water does do better. It coats it a lot easier. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with the shrimp. And so we just dip it in for egg wash, and then what we have found, so we don't waste a lot of our coconut and bread mixtures, that we do it like this. If you dip it down in the bowl, it gets a lot of your stuff soggy. Dip it back in the egg wash again, and then go back over top of it. Cook underneath of the shrimp. Now we're going to do an oyster. Dip it. I put it in the palm of my hand, or fingers, and then kind of go over and go like that, and kind of shake it off, dip it again, put it in the palm of my hand, and that's it. And what we found, it really does a really good job frying the oyster. You got a lot of the mixture on here, and you don't mess up all of your breadcrumbs and cornmeal and coconut. So the secret to this, though, guys, still got a lot more to go, and don't want to show you all of the boring part. But you put it on a sheet pan, and then after you get them all done, you take these and put them in the freezer for about 10 to 15 minutes. And it does a lot better frying, and you don't lose a lot of the breading off of your oysters or shrimp. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of these, and then I'm going to show you how I cook them.
I'm not recording. There.
What? Hey, back with you. Get the camera going. We finished the oysters and the shrimp, and we're going to put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. What we have noticed is if you take them right out of the egg and your batter, I mean your panko and coconut, that most of it falls off when you're frying it. And if you put this in the freezer for about 15 minutes, it adheres a whole lot better to the oysters and the shrimp. So we're going to put this in there for about 15 minutes. And anyway, next is your dipping sauce. And this is more of a shrimp thing that we're going to do tonight, but the coconut oysters are very good. You can use orange marmalade, or you can use peach marmalade. I personally like the orange marmalade better with the shrimp. The oysters, my best preference is you take the orange marmalade and put it in a small food processor. You can get these little small food processors for about 10 bucks, and put that in there with the take and put a little bit of the orange marmalade and put cream cheese, and start off with the orange marmalade. You want to be able to dip it in, so you get a lot more orange marmalade than you will put the cream cheese in. But tonight we're more into the shrimp thing tonight. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to put a little heat in it. You can put chili peppers, which is way too hot for me, but we're using jalapenos. You can just use red pepper flake. Tabasco, sauce of some sort to kick it up a little bit, not too much. Put a tad bit of horseradish. But one of my favorites is wasabi sauce. Out of it tonight, I put just a touch of lime juice, and I'm going to go ahead and chop up a few jalapenos really fine. You don't want to get too big a bite of the jalapeno. That's why I'm doing it very fine, because it takes away the taste of the oyster, and you want to be able to taste the oyster. That's the main thing. But I do like a little heat sometimes, and tonight is the night I'm going to have a little bit of heat in it. Just take it, do that, throw it in there, and just mix it on up. And I do this when I put the oysters and the shrimp in the freezer, and this will kind of marry in together, I guess you might say. And just try different things. And what I usually do is do that, and then I'll take a little bite. Good. It's got a good bit of heat to it. I think you'll enjoy it. Play with these. Not everybody likes this. Same thing. My girlfriend likes sriracha or something like that. Anyway, hell, let's just throw another little of that in there too. And that really brings the heat out. But for oysters, the best one, orange marmalade, peach marmalade, and cream cheese. And you want to try to get it to a dipping consistency. And just throw it in the fruit processor, you can do it. Alright, we'll be back in a little bit. Hi guys, back at it. We just got this out of the freezer. It's been in there for about 15 minutes. We're cooking in the cast iron. Got that down just a tad. One of my favorite frying pans. I have to tell y'all a story about it. This was Leanne's grandmother's. She was born in 1895. And this pan was actually made in 1920. Her grandfather was one of the most wealthiest fishermen down where we live. Has one of the nicest houses, and I think this is where she really has her enjoy. Man, look at that oyster. That's a big one there. She enjoys her seafood, and so this video is going up for her grandmother that made a lot of really great meals in this cast iron pan. Really enjoy it. So we got these going. I'm go ahead and cook the oysters first. You want to try to get this at about 350. I probably had it a little bit too hot, but I knew the pan was going to cool down a little bit. And that's about what you want right there. Could have been cooked a tad bit more. I'm going to let them cook a little bit more. Get a little bit more golden brown. One of the other good sauces, guys, we're going to do another video on it, is called a pina colada sauce with your coconut oysters. We'll go into that, but that is a really good one. But tonight we're doing the shrimp thing. I think we made too much for us to eat tonight, but we put this on a poor boy tomorrow. These cook really fast, and the one thing you want to do with the oyster is don't overcook it. You still want it moist, and you do not want to overcook an oyster. So these are just about ready. You give them about another 30 seconds. What I notice, if you do overcook an oyster, they become a little bit more chewy. and that's what you don't want. The secret to it, though, guys, is putting this in the freezer, and you see how much of the crust of the oyster and is staying on the oyster. Cut it. Hey guys, back. Just got this out of the frying pan. This is our coconut shrimp, and again, we're using a fine shred of coconut. We find it adheres better to the oysters. Personally, I like the longer coconut on the shrimp, but we wanted some oysters tonight. We're going to share another video with y'all. It's called Hawaiian oysters, which really is really great. You would think it's not that great, but it's basically this oyster cooked with the small coconut, or if you got big coconut, just put it in the food processor and grind it small. But it has a pina colada sauce that's out of this world, and you really got to try it. But tonight was more about the shrimp, and we hope that y'all get out and do some oyster farming. Real simple to do. This dinner I probably only had maybe with that and 4 glasses of wine and a salad, might have $5 in it, so you can have a great time. Here's our kicked up orange marmalade one, but I guess maybe next week we'll go ahead and try to do the Hawaiian oysters. They're a banger, unbelievable. You got to try it. Y'all get out and do some oyster farming. It's real easy to do, a lot of fun. You can do this at home, don't cost you a lot of money, and have a lot of fun. Have a good night, great night.